Welcome back. This is part 2 of the be adjective preposition series, and that all sounds very complicated, but I'll give you a couple of quick examples like be excited about, be fond of, be disappointed with, those types of chunks, and there are lots and lots of them in English. In today's lesson, we'll have a quick look back what we did in the first class. Then we'll look at some new chunks, and we'll be using your today. So last time we did I'm, this time we'll be using your. We'll look at how to make these sentences, and then you'll be making sentences with your. And the last part today will be spot the mistake. Without further ado, let's have a quick look at the chunks from last time. Okay, and the chunks from last time were I'm excited about, I'm fond of, I'm afraid of, I'm interested in, I'm looking forward to. Today's chunks will be using you as in your, so you are, your, but pay attention to the pronunciation, your. So you're worried about. And today's chunks, you're worried about, you're disappointed with, you're famous for, you're committed to, you're proud of. Okay, so in the pronunciation part, I will pronounce each one 3 times, and I want you to join me. Okay, so are you ready? First time, you're worried about, you're worried about, you're worried about. Ready? You're disappointed with, you're disappointed with, you're disappointed with. Ready? You're famous for, you're famous for, you're famous for. Ready? You're committed to, you're committed to, you're committed to. And the last one, you're proud of, you're proud of, you're proud of. Here you can see that the preposition is highlighted, and it's highlighted because the preposition decides what comes after it. So I've got a question here. So you're worried about, can you add a type 1 after it or a type 4? Which one is correct? You can add a type 4. So you're worried about plus type 4. So after these prepositions, about, for, to, you can add a type 4. So here we got the 3 examples from above. You're worried about playing football. You're worried about drinking water. You're worried about eating food. Okay. And after about, you can add this type 4, which is like a noun, or a noun. So instead of saying you're worried about playing football, you could say you're worried about the football match. Instead of saying you're worried about drinking water, you could say you're worried about this water. This water looks really dirty. It doesn't look good to drink. And instead of saying you're worried about eating food, you might say you're worried about that food. So that food maybe looks dirty, or perhaps it doesn't look good to eat. Okay, so what I want you to do next is to make sentences. So I will give you the start, something like you're worried about, and I want you to come up with 3 example sentences. So use the pause button, say those sentences, and then I will give you some example sentences afterwards. Okay, let's get started. You're worried about, make 3 examples. Possible answers. You're not worried about anything. You're worried about the presentation. You're worried about seeing your boss. You're disappointed with, make 3 examples, press pause. Here are my 3 examples. You're disappointed with your pay. Perhaps you have a low wage and you don't like it. You're disappointed with my exam results. So this is something maybe a parent would say to their child. You're disappointed with your new computer. Next one. Amongst friends, you're famous for. Possible answers. You're famous for being late all the time. I don't know whether you have friends like this. I certainly have at least one friend like this. You're famous for your cookies. So everyone loves your cookies. You're famous for being happy most of the time. So here, famous doesn't mean like everyone knows you, but perhaps you're well known for this within your group of friends. You're committed to. Once again, press pause, make 3 examples. Here are my 3 examples. You're committed to your family. You're committed to improving your English. I hope you are. I'm pretty sure you are if you got this far in the video. You're committed to studying hard. You're proud of. Press pause. 3 examples. You're proud of your car. You're proud of your English. You're proud of managing your team well. In the next section, you will see 7 sentences using this format, but there's a mistake in each sentence. So what I want you to do, first of all, when I show you the 7 sentences, you can also find them down below in the introduction for the video. So you can copy them, put them into Word, work with the exercises. What I want you to do is to correct the mistake. And I will show the answers in a couple of seconds. So pause. Okay, and here are the answers. So in the first one, you're afraid about the weather. So about is wrong. So after afraid, it would be you use of. So you're afraid of the weather. So with afraid, you can have of after it. Sometimes you can use a few different types, but you can't use about after afraid. Okay, the second example is where the preposition is in the question. So in a lot of European languages, the preposition often comes first. In English, it's almost always at the end of the question. So not to what are you committed, but what are you committed to? Okay, the third one, the negative is wrong. So I don't interested in history. Because we're using be, we have to use a different way to use the negative. So not I don't interested, but I'm not interested in history. Okay, with the third example, I'm fond. Again, it's the wrong preposition. So I'm fond of honey. Okay, we have another question where the preposition's at the start. Where should it be? It should be at the end of the question. So what are you excited about? In the next one, we use the wrong type of action after for. So you need to use the type for. Not make cakes, but making cakes. I'm famous for making cakes. And the last one, you're exciting about the new game. Okay, so it's not exciting, but excited. We use this ed to describe how you're feeling inside. So you're excited about the new game. That was part 2 of this series, this very exciting series about be adjective plus prepositions. So what can you do next? If I were you, I would practice making some sentences with the ones that we learned from part 1 and part 2. So they will be listed below. So make your own sentences, own these sentences. And in the next part, we'll look at how to use it with she's, he's, their, we're, So we'll use it with different people, and we'll use some newer chunks. Okay, so until part 3, have a great time.